Hi friends, this is the 18th lecture in the lecture series for the preparation of GATE in Mechanical Engineering, and today we will be discussing the third part of radiation. Okay, so please go through the previous lectures to get a better understanding. And in this lecture we will be dealing with the laws that are associated with the radiation heat transfer. Okay, so before going into that, let's discuss a term called the radiation intensity. Radiation intensity, and this is denoted by the letter I dot lambda. Since we are dealing with the radiation intensity for a particular wavelength lambda, then we can call this radiation intensity as spectral radiation intensity. Spectral radiation intensity. Okay, and this spectral radiation intensity is nothing but the thermal energy or the thermal radiation or radiation that is either emitted or incident or emitted plus reflected, either emitted or incident or emitted plus reflected in all theta and phi directions per unit area in unit time per unit solid angle corresponding to a particular wavelength lambda. Okay, and this solid angle is nothing but denoted by the letter dW, and this is the ratio dA by r square. I will discuss this particular term in the next sessions. So this is nothing but the radiation intensity or the spectral radiation intensity. And for a for a diffuse body or surface, this spectral emissive power, that is E lambda, is equal to pi into I dot lambda, and spectral irradiation, that is G lambda, is equal to pi into I dot lambda, and J lambda, that is spectral radiosity, is nothing but pi into I dot lambda. So please remember, this is for a particular case of diffuse body or diffuse surfaces. Okay, and from these equations we can determine the total emissive power. E is equal to pi into integral 0 to infinity I dot lambda into T lambda, and irradiation G is equal to pi into integral 0 to infinity I dot lambda into D lambda, and radiosity J is equal to pi into integral 0 to infinity I dot lambda into D lambda. So these are the equations for only diffuse bodies or diffuse surfaces. Okay, so remember these two equations, which are very important, and we will be dealing with these equations in the next lectures. Okay, so remember these set of equations. So consider a black body, or consider the laws that are associated with this particular radiation heat transfer. The first one is, let's discuss the Planck's distribution. Okay, what Planck's distribution tells that for a black body or black surface, we can write the radiation intensity I dot lambda b is equal to 2hc0 square divided by lambda raised to 5 into e raised to hc0 by lambda kt minus 1. Okay, so this equation will give you the radiation intensity for a black body. Okay, so then for a black body, then we can write the emissive power or the spectral emissive power for a black body can be written as pi into a dot lambda. This is nothing but 2 pi hc0 by lambda raised to 5 into e raised to hc0 by lambda kt minus 1. So remember this particular equation in which in this particular equation lambda is nothing but the wavelength, h is the universal Planck's constant, which is equal to h equal to 6.626 into 10 raised to minus 34 joule second. Then we are having the k minus 34 joule second, and then we are having the k, which is nothing but the universal Boltzmann constant, and which is equal to 1.38 into 10 raised to minus 23 joule per Kelvin. And then the c0, which is nothing but the speed of light in vacuum, which is approximately equal to 2.998 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Okay, and then we are having this E lambda b as the spectral emissive power of a black body. Okay, so by using this particular equation, we can draw, or we can plot the graph of E lambda b with respect to lambda for a particular temperature, or for different temperature sets. Okay, so consider this, let this be the E lambda b, and this axis will give you the lambda values, and this axis will give you the E lambda b values. And see that, let's suppose it is ranging in the 0.1 to 10 square, and in the x-axis, and 10 raised to minus 4 to 10 raised to 9 in the y-axis. So we can see that the curve will be like this. Okay, so this will be the curve, and which are for different temperatures. Say this is for 50 Kelvin, and this is for 100 Kelvin, and this is for 150 Kelvin, and this is for 200 Kelvin, and this is for 250 Kelvin, and this is for 300 Kelvin. Okay, so this will be the particular graph of E lambda b and the lambda, or E lambda b versus lambda graph or curve. So that is nothing but the first law, or first main important factor. And then let's discuss about the Wien's displacement law. What if we are differentiating the E lambda b equation that we got from the Planck's distribution equation with respect to the lambda, and if we equate it to 0, what we are getting is the maximum value of lambda will get. Okay, so this by in differentiating this particular equation and equating it to 0, we will be getting an equation that is lambda m into p is equal to 0, and this particular equation shows that where this lambda m is the maximum value of wavelength at or for a particular temperature. Okay, and this particular equation shows that the product of the maximum value of wavelength and the temperature corresponding to that wavelength will be a constant. So what happens is that, see this particular distribution, this is nothing but the Planck's distribution. In this we can see that as the temperature is increasing, that is 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, we can see that a shift of the maximum value of lambda to the left. Okay, so this will be the shift that is occurring at the maximum value of lambda. Let's suppose these are the maximum value of lambda that we are getting for this particular wavelengths and for this particular temperature. Then we can see a shift of this particular maximum value of lambda into the left, and this Wien's displacement law tells that there is, as lambda m increases, the temperature decreases, and as temperature increases, lambda m value decreases. Okay, so this is the implication of this particular law, that is Wien's displacement law. And then let's discuss about the Stefan-Boltzmann law. And this law can be determined by integrating the equation for E lambda b equation. We will be getting an equation which is E, that is total emissive power of a black body, is equal to integral 0 to infinity E lambda b into d lambda, which is nothing but E is equal to sigma t raised to 4. So remember this particular equation, where this sigma is the Stefan-Boltzmann constant, and which is equal to 5.67 into 10 raised to 8 watt per meter square Kelvin raised to 4. So that is nothing but the sigma. And this particular equation shows that for a black body, total emissive power is proportional to 4th power of temperature at which the black body that is existing. So that is given by this Stefan-Boltzmann law. So this is the implication of this particular law. And then the last law is nothing but the Kirchhoff's law. And in this Kirchhoff's law, what it is given that epsilon is equal to lambda, where epsilon is the emissivity. This is not lambda, this is alpha, which is nothing but the absorptivity. Emissivity equal to absorptivity for a body, or surface, if it satisfies either of the two conditions. That is, and the first condition is if it is a gray body or surface, otherwise, or if the irradiation or the radiation that incident on the body is directly from a black body at same temperature as that of the body that we are considering. Okay, so these if a body that satisfies either of these two conditions, then Kirchhoff's law will be valid, and which is nothing but the epsilon is equal to alpha.